That's a Fact, a program for people who are curious about this fascinating world of ours. This is James Sydney. Stay with me for a moment. Hi there. Have you ever heard of expectant fathers who gain weight along with their pregnant wives, have appetite changes, vomit, and experience morning sickness? It is sometimes called sympathetic pregnancy, another medical term for it being Couvard or Couvard syndrome. According to those who have researched the matter, it is a condition found all over the world. Reports suggest that not only husbands, but fathers and other relatives are occasionally involved. Sir Everard Thurn, who with Harry Perkins first scaled Roraima from Guyana in December 1884, left an account of the Couvard among the Makusi Indians of Guyana, then British Guyana, of course. Thurn, who began his stay in British Guyana as a magistrate in the Pomeroon district, wrote extensively on the Amerindians with whom he had contact and also about the flora and fauna of the country. One of his books is Among the Indians of Guyana. In that book, Thurn says, "Even before the child is born, the father abstains for a time from certain kinds of animal food. The woman works as usual up to a few hours before the birth of the child. At last, she retires alone, or accompanied by some other woman, to the forest, where she ties up her hammock, and then the child is born. Then in a few hours, often less than a day, the woman, who, like all women living in a very unartificial condition, suffers but little, gets up and resumes her ordinary work. According to Schomburg, the mother, at any rate among the Makusis, remains in her hammock for some time, and the father hangs his hammock and lies in it by her side. But in all cases where the matter came under my notice, the mother left her hammock almost at once. In any case, no sooner is the child born than the father takes to his hammock, and abstaining from every sort of work, from meat and all other food, except weak gruel of cassava meal, from smoking, from washing himself, and above all, from touching weapons of any sort, is nursed and cared for by all the women of the place." One other regulation, mentioned by Schomburg, is certainly quaint. The interesting father may not scratch himself with his fingernails, but he may use, for this purpose, a splinter specially provided from the midrib of the cookerit palm. This continues for many days and sometimes even weeks. End of quote. Thinkers have been looking for explanations of the Amerindian practice. One often cited is the idea that both parents of a newborn child need to avoid foods and activities that might be harmful to the child's well-being. Another idea is that the father simulates the wife's activities to shield her from evil spirits by attracting them to himself. A third idea is that sharing in or assuming aspects of the delivery asserts fatherhood. A fourth is that some Amerindians believe that the supernatural bond between the child and the father is stronger than that with the mother, and that the Couvard reinforces this stronger bond. But how do we explain the reported cases of pregnancy symptoms among people who have no similar traditions? That's something to think about. In fact, the phenomenon is worldwide and must have been taking place through the ages. In some extreme cases, fathers can grow a belly similar to a 7-month pregnant woman and gain approximately 25 to 30 pounds. Other symptoms include cravings, nausea, and enlarged breasts. A report published by the BBC in June 2007, which is quite recent, said researchers at St. George's University, London, carried out a study of 282 dads-to-be who experienced Couvard. Dr. Arthur Brennan, senior lecturer at St. George's, who led the study, said These men were so attuned to their partners, they started to develop the same symptoms. One of the men in the study insisted that the stomach pain he experienced during his wife's labor was more than her discomfort. It seemed like my pain was worse, he said. Her contractions were fairly strong, but she couldn't push. And as that was happening, my stomach pain was building up and getting worse and worse. Last sentence. One woman I know said she wouldn't mind having another baby if she had a husband like that. Last sentence. She added, "That's a good husband." This is James Sydney. Time to go now. Thanks for your company. Let's do it again next time on It's a Fact.